My name is Erica, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my zero waste journey and some of the items I've accumulated over the years to help me reduce my waste. So first, let's talk about what zero waste means. Well, the goal of zero waste is to send nothing to the landfill. But that doesn't mean we should recycle as much as we can. It means we need to reduce what we need and reuse as much as we can. Zero waste can seem overwhelming when we first start out. So I want to stress that this is a journey, and any small step you take is a step in the right direction and you're making a difference. My zero waste journey started way back in 2010, and over the years I've been making small steps to get to where I am today. But I still have a long way to go. There's a lot that I still want to try out. I came across a quote recently that I thought was really good. It states, "We need more people doing zero waste imperfectly than just a handful doing it perfectly." So I'm going to show you some of these items, and we'll go through these items by category. So the first category that we will start with is when you're out and about. When you're out of the house, you're going to work, you're going out for a Saturday afternoon, you can bring these items with you to drastically reduce your waste. So the main thing that I think a lot of people nowadays are getting into the habit of doing is bringing a reusable water bottle wherever you go. This particular bottle is by the company Vapor, and I really like it for traveling because it's lightweight, and when you don't have water in it, you can easily fold it up. But there's so many great water bottles on the market, a lot of great stainless steel water bottles. Clean Canteen is a great brand. So definitely bring your water bottle wherever you go. There's always a place where you can fill up your bottle. Another great thing to have with you is a reusable coffee mug. I tend to make tea at home and then just put it in this and bring it with me. But what you can also do is bring an empty coffee mug with you if you are always going to coffee shops, and they will actually just use your bottle, and sometimes they will give you a discount, which is a great incentive. And something I didn't realize is that those Starbucks cups aren't recyclable because they have plastic lining in them. So this is a great thing to have. So when you're going to work, I like to bring my lunch with me, and oftentimes workplaces don't have utensils that you can use, or they have plastic utensils. So definitely bring your own. You don't have to buy a utensil set. It's as easy as just bringing a fork from your own house, and it's really not that heavy. I stress just using what you have at home instead of going out and buying all of these kind of zero waste items. Another thing I've found to come in handy are these glass containers to put your lunch in, and you can just put this in your bag when you are out for the day. The only negative thing about these glass containers is that they tend to be heavy, so something you can also look for are the stainless steel tip-ins, and they're a lot lighter. Instead of using plastic bags, the ones that you just use one time and dispose of them, you can use a reusable sandwich bag. And these are great for everything. So for nuts, for fruit, for sandwiches. This bag is from the company Chico Bag. And what's nice about this bag is it's easy to wash. So when you're done with it, you just flip it inside out and you can easily wash it. And it also comes in two sizes, so you can have this bigger size here, or you can fold it down to a smaller size. You can also stick some of these straws in your bag when you're out and about. If you are not the type of person who uses straws, don't feel like you have to go out and buy your own straw, but these are nice. They're stainless steel, and you can also buy silicone straws. You can buy bamboo straws, you can buy glass, but you probably don't want to bring glass with you. But I find that I really like drinking water out of straws, as well as smoothies. And these ones that have the wider width are better for drinking smoothies, and it's actually better for your teeth if you drink through one of these straws. Something I'm trying to get into the habit of doing is always bringing a cloth with me when I'm out and about, so that when I'm going to the bathroom and after washing my hands, instead of using a paper towel every time, it's just having this cloth and using that to dry your hands. Because the amount of paper towels that you use in your lifetime is a lot if you use one every time you want to dry your hands. So the next category that we will go into is your bathroom. So the thing to look at in your bathroom is just take an inventory of all of the products that you have, all of the lotions, shampoos, face washes, all of those products that are in plastic bottles, and thinking about if you necessarily need all of those products. You really don't need a lot, at least that is what I have found. Something that basically you can use for everything is coconut oil. The stuff is great. You can use it for a lotion, putting on your face. So definitely recommend that. And then when you're washing your hands, instead of buying those plastic soap dispensers, you can purchase one of these glass bottles with this pump, and then you can put your own soap in it. And I got this soap. This is Dr. Bronner's soap. I bought this at a local co-op in bulk, and you can just use that to fill up this. So for deodorant, they come in those plastic containers. So that's a lot of plastic. You go through a lot of deodorant in your lifetime. There are some companies that have their deodorant in zero waste containers, or they have like cardboard containers, which are great. But something I've been using for a couple of years now is just making my own deodorant. So I make my own deodorant and I put it in this reusable, this is just a Lush container that I'm repurposing for deodorant because it's nice and small, it's easy to travel with. And to make your own deodorant is super easy, and it's going to save you money over time because the ingredients are really cheap. I mean, basically all I put in it is baking soda, arrowroot powder, coconut oil, I put lavender oil, and shea butter, and that's all you do. You just mix that all together. And instead of applying it like you usually do, all you have to do is just take a little bit and you just rub it into your skin, and it easily rubs in, and it works great. It works a lot better, I've found, than a lot of those natural deodorants on the market. Moving on to brushing your teeth. So a lot of people still are in the habit of using plastic toothbrushes, but upwards of 2 billion plastic toothbrushes end up in oceans and landfills every year. So that's a lot of toothbrushes. And what's crazy to think about is the toothbrush that you used when you were like 7 years old is still in the world somewhere. So an easy swap that you can do is buying one of these bamboo toothbrushes. So the company I use is called Brush with Bamboo. And it doesn't come wrapped in plastic, it just comes in this compostable or recycled cardboard. And this is what it looks like. You have your bamboo handle with your bristles, which is totally plant-based. The only thing is when you're done with your toothbrush, the bristles can't be composted. So what you do is you take pliers and you pull out the bristles, and then you can compost the rest of it, which is really awesome. So to go along with your toothbrush comes your toothpaste, and oftentimes toothpaste comes in those plastic containers. You don't know exactly what's in your toothpaste. There's a lot of terrible ingredients in it. So again, what I found worked great for me is just making my own toothpaste. The ingredients are really simple. I just mix all of the ingredients together and put them in this silicone reusable tube here, and you just can push out the toothpaste like you would a traditional toothpaste. So what I use for my toothpaste is baking soda. I've started using bentonite clay, which you can typically find that in bulk at a local co-op. I mix that with coconut oil, sea salt, and a little bit of peppermint oil. And if you're not to the point where you want to make your own toothpaste, there are companies that at least are using better packaging. So that is something to also look into. Another thing that comes in plastic containers is floss. So I did some research and found floss that comes in a recycled or composted box. And this company is called EcoDent. And what's nice, it is 100% vegan waxed, and it does contain 100 yards of floss for this small container. Usually a typical floss container will only have 50 yards. The only negative about this company is that the floss still comes wrapped in plastic, and it still has like a metal thing right here, to cut your floss. So it's not totally zero waste, but it's definitely a step up. If you want to go even further, there is a company called Dental Lace that has floss in these glass cylinders, and you buy the glass cylinder one time. Once you're done with the floss, you can reorder the spools of floss. All right, so you're in the shower. You really don't need that many products. You don't need, at least I've found, you don't need your multiple shampoos, conditioners, body wash. I really just use a bar soap, and I use a shampoo bar, which this was a new thing that I recently switched over to, but I found it great. So the shampoo bar that I use is from Lush, which I think now a lot of people have heard about Lush. So what's nice is you can get these tins, which is really convenient for traveling. But really all it is just a bar, and you just lather it up in your hands and can put it in your hair or directly in your hair. And I have found that a shampoo bar works great. All right, so moving on to toilet paper. Oftentimes when you're buying toilet paper, you buy it at the grocery store and it just comes wrapped in plastic. Well, an alternative is to buy it in bulk online, and it comes in a box, and each roll of toilet paper is wrapped in paper. The company we currently use is Angel Soft, really just because it's cheap, but I do want to move into using a better company, such as Who Gives a Crap. They have toilet paper that is made from bamboo. They also have 100% post-recycled consumer toilet paper. So there's definitely a lot of great companies that are making toilet paper. All right, the last thing I will talk about for the bathroom is for the women. This was a switch I made back in 2012, so I've been using this for a long time now. But instead of using tampons and those disposable pads and everything, it's switching over to a menstrual cup. And if you haven't heard of these things, they're great. I mean, I've had this for a long time now. You go through so many of those products throughout your life. So switching over to this will drastically reduce your waste. All right, we will move on to the kitchen. So growing up, thinking about all the things in your kitchen, there's so many disposable things, right? You have all of those plastic bags, you have plastic cling wrap, aluminum foil, parchment paper. So it's looking at all of those things and seeing if you can find a reusable solution. So instead of, all of those paper towels, really all you need is a good dish towel. You use this for a little bit and you can throw it in your laundry and it's good to go again. And you're going to save money. You reuse this so many times. We've had this now for a couple of years now. It's been great. Another thing you can use instead of those disposable napkins is getting reusable napkins that you can easily throw into the laundry once they are dirty. Something we bought a couple years ago, instead of using parchment paper and aluminum foil, is buying a silicone baking mat. And this thing is a life changer because you're saving money. This will last you a long time. And it's also a healthier option. You're not, you don't know what's leaking into your food, with the other kind of aluminum foil and all of that. With this, it's a non-stick, so you don't have to use any oil or anything, which is great. Moving on to composting. It can seem intimidating at first to compost, especially if you're living in an apartment building like I am. My apartment complex doesn't offer composting service. So what I did was I went on to Next Door Neighbor, which is a website where you can message your neighbors. So I just sent out a message to see if I could drop off my compost at their green bin. And I had a lot of neighbors saying that I could do that. So now what I do is I put all of my food scraps, all my fruit, veggie scraps, you put it in one of these compostable bags, and we just throw this in the freezer so that it doesn't smell. And once a week, I walk it over to my neighbor's green bin. So a switch that took me a long time to transition from was using sponges. They're so convenient, but you go through so many of them because they get nasty, pretty quickly, and you just have to keep going through them. So I wanted to find something that would last for a long time. So I found a wooden dish scrubber. So I've had this wooden handle for a couple of years now, and you can just keep reusing it. And then it comes with the scrubber head, which I recently had to swap out because it got nasty, but it does last a lot longer than a sponge. And so when you need to get a new one, it's so easy to just, you just put it on and get going. So it's an easy swap to transition from. And I found this dish scrubber head at this company called Boston General Store. And I had never heard about this company before, but I think they're great. They sent me this letter. I want to read a part of it to you. Growing up, I learned about the value of a well-made product from my Nana. She taught me what it meant to buy honest, quality goods that would last a lifetime. Our goal at Boston General Store is to try and find those products, ones that you can't always find at an online superstore. So they have a brick and mortar store, and they also have an online store where they have a whole zero waste category. So I definitely recommend checking them out. I'm trying to not use Amazon as much, so that was a great company to find. So like the bathroom, I have one of these guys for my kitchen, and I use the same kind of soap, the Dr. Bronner's in bulk, and what I do is I just dilute it with water and it lasts a long time. Another thing that took me a while to transition over was my cleaners. I, use those 409, the window cleaners, all of those, crazy chemicals that have a lot of terrible ingredients in them. And I found that it was so easy just to make your own cleaner. So I bought this bottle. It's just a glass amber bottle, and then you have, the spray attachment on it. And all I put in an all-purpose cleaner is just water, white vinegar, lemon juice, I put a little bit of peppermint oil, and that's it. And I use this to spray on counters, and then for the bathroom, all I do is I'll take baking soda and like sprinkle that wherever I need, that needs cleaning, and then just use this all-purpose cleaner. So with cleaners, it's kind of crazy that we have a cleaner for each thing, right? I mean, it's just condensing that into a couple of cleaners that you really need. So another thing that I love in my kitchen is having this tea ball. So with those tea bags, it is a lot of waste, and actually a lot of those tea bags can't be composted. A lot of them have like plastic particles in it. You can Google it and learn more about it, but this is such a nice alternative, and I've had this again for a lot of years, and it's worked great. So you just buy tea in bulk and get those tea leaves and just put a little bit of the tea leaves in here, and it's easy to just screw on the lid, and I've never had any problem with the lid coming off at all. I use this company, it's called Chefs, SCHEFS. So definitely get one of these guys if you're a big tea drinker. Alright, so that's all the items for the kitchen. Our next thing to talk about is when you're going grocery shopping. A lot of people are now in the habit of bringing their reusable shopping bags, which is great. I have found that like the fabric shopping bags are the best in that they just last a lot longer, and they don't rip as easily. You can easily throw this in the laundry and keep reusing it over and over and over. I've had this for many years now. So if you want to step up your shopping game, there's a lot more you can do. When you are buying your produce, your fruits and vegetables, there's those plastic bags. Instead of using those plastic bags, you can get these reusable produce bags. And I've had these for a long time now. This is from the company Be Wise, Earthwise, I guess just called Earthwise. And so if you have multiple apples or whatever, it's just nice to have it all in this bag and to cinch it up. I've never had any issues with the cashier or anything. They just use it. They just do what they need to do. And you can also get these in cloth. I just found that these ones, I guess they're probably like nylon or something. They just don't weigh that much, and so they're not going to affect that weight when you check out. Something I wanted to do for a long time was buy spices in bulk. And so I was looking around for bags that could, actually hold spices, and bags that were really lightweight. And I just couldn't find anything. But finally, I found this company called Kootsac, and it's called Kootsac. And yeah, I found this on Etsy, and she makes great bags. So these are the smaller bags that you can use for the spices. So I get spices in bulk, nutritional yeast in bulk, nuts, just small things, and they work out great, and you don't have to worry about the weight because they're just so light. Okay, you can also get these nice cloth bags. You can use these bags for getting black beans, rice in bulk. My local grocery store, you can actually buy loose loaves of bread, so just putting a loaf of bread in here, and that has worked out really well. Alright, so I have 2 last items for you guys. One is using a handkerchief instead of tissues, because people go through so many tissues, and with this, you can just keep reusing it and reusing it. And at first it might seem gross to do this, but I've gotten used to it. You just throw it in the laundry and use it again. Alright, the last thing I have is your laundry. So usually you get your laundry detergent. They come in, those big plastic tubs. Something that is better that I've found, and I mean, you just don't know what's in all that laundry detergent. A lot of toxic chemicals and everything. So I bought Eco Nuts. It comes in a box which can be composted or recycled. And the soap nuts, which are actually berries, they look like this. And basically you just throw 5 of them in this bag and then throw this in your wash. And you can actually reuse those same 5 for 10 loads. And then once that is done, you can compost those berries and then get more. But what they say on the box is that it is good for 100 loads, which is actually equivalent, they say, to like 3.5 of those plastic detergent bottles. So I have found this to be a great alternative. There are some other zero waste laundry detergent companies out there that you can find, like where they just have like the laundry detergent powder in like boxes. So just find what works for you. So that is all I have for you. I have found zero waste to be kind of a fun game to play, to see how, like, to step up my game, to see how much more I can do to reduce my waste. Like I said in the beginning, there's still a lot more I want to try to do. I want to try and use a safety razor instead of using, you know, I have a reusable like plastic, Gillette razor or whatever, but I have to constantly take out those heads or whatever. So many more things that everyone can do. We only have this one earth, so every little bit that we can do to help it is great. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you found this to be helpful and have given you ideas of what you can do. Thanks so much.